Hi Year 7, today what we're going to look at is dividing a decimal by a whole number. So when dividing a decimal by a whole number, we want to place the decimal point in the answer above the decimal point in the question. So our first question here is 1.624 divided by 8. So we're going to write it out as an algorithm. So our 8 divided by our 1.624. Now 8 goes into 1 0 times. We have now reached our decimal point, so I'm going to write my decimal point up above. I do need to carry my 1 from before. 8 now goes into 16 2 times. There's no remainder. 8 goes into 2 0 times, carry it on, and then 8 goes into 24 3 times. So therefore, my answer will be 0.203. My next one here, I have 62.1 divided by 6. So again, I want to write it out as an algorithm. Now, 6 goes into 6 once with no remainder. 6 goes into 2 0 times with a remainder of 2, and I have run into my decimal point. So I need to put my decimal point down and carry my 2. Now 6 goes into 21 3 times, however we have a remainder of 3. So I'm going to do a 0 down below and put a 3 up above. So when I have a remainder, I'm going to keep working this out so that my decimal keeps going on. I'm then going to say 6 goes into 30 how many times, which is 5, and I have no remainder. So that is my answer. That 62.1 divided by 6 is 10.35. My next one here is 0.0136 divided by 4. So let's do an algorithm to work it out. Now 4 goes into 0 0 times. I've run into my decimal point, so I'm going to put my decimal point down. 4 goes into 0 0 times as well. 4 goes into 1 0 times, and now I need to carry the 1. 4 goes into 13 3 times with 1 remainder, and 4 goes into 16 4 times, so that my answer is 0.0034. You are now going to pause this video and you're going to have a go at the You-Do questions. You've got 3 minutes. Okay, let's go through the You-Do questions. So I have 5.125 divided by 5. So I'm going to write this out like an algorithm. Now 5 goes into 5 once. I've now run into my decimal point, so I put my decimal point and I had no remainder. 5 goes into 1 0 times with a remainder of 1. 5 goes into 12 2 times with a remainder of 2. And 5 goes into 25 5 times with no remainder. So my answer is 1.025. My next one, I have 12.24 divided by 4. So 4 goes into 12.24. Now 4 goes into 1 0 times, carry the 1. 4 goes into 12 3 times. I've now run into my decimal point and I had no remainders. 4 goes into 2 0 times, carry the 2. 4 goes into 24 6 times with no remainder. So my answer is 3.06. This last one here, I have 0.0014 divided by 7. So you should have written out your algorithm. 7 goes into 0 0 times. I've now run into my decimal point, so I need to put my decimal point down. 7 goes into 0 0 times. 7 goes into 0 0 times. 7 goes into 1 0 times. Carry the 1 though. 7 goes into 14 2 times. So my answer is 0.0002. We're now going to look at when we divide by 10 or 100 or 1,000, we move the decimal point the number of 0 places to the left. So let's look at this I do question. We have 81.3 divided by 10. Now there's 1 0 in our decimal point, so we're going to move our decimal point 1 place to the left so that our answer is 8.13. Now when we're dividing, our answer should always be smaller than our number in our question. Our next one is 75.84 divided by 100. So there are 2 zeros in 100. So I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places to the left so that I'll have 0.7584, and I need to put a 0 out the front of that point there. This last one, in 1,000, I have 3 zeros in my decimal point, 3 zeros in 1,000, sorry. So I need to move my decimal point 1, 2, 3 times, so that my answer is now 0.7321. And again, I need to put a 0 out the front of my decimal point. Now pause the video and have a go at the you do questions. Okay, so for the first you do question, you should have noticed that there is 1 0 in 10, so you would have moved your decimal point 1 place to the left to get the answer 7.55. In the next one, you should have noticed that there was 2 zeros in 100, so you'll move the decimal point 2 places to the left, 1, 2, so that you get the answer of 0.346, but remember you need to put a 0 at the front of that decimal point. And lucky last, we have 976.4 divided by 1,000. You would have noticed that there's 3 zeros in 1,000, so you would have moved your decimal point 1, 2, 3 places, so that our answer is 0.9764, but our decimal point needs to go out the front there.